Hello, my name is Graham, as in graham cracker, and I've had hyperhidrosis in my hands for as long as I can remember. Hyperhidrosis, of course, is the excessive sweating of the hands, feet, underarms, or face. There are far worse fates than having sweaty hands, but hyperhidrosis still had a significant negative impact on my social life starting in about middle school. I love to open up and meet new people, but I was hindered for a while by the fact that I was hesitant to greet people due to my hands. Every time you meet someone, it's polite to either shake their hand or dap them up. It's hard to circumvent these greetings without seeming completely socially inept, so I'd always just have to take it on the chin and do it anyways. Most people are usually courteous and don't mention it, but the amount of times that I've seen people try to discreetly wipe their hand on their clothes after shaking my hand just keeps me up at night. I wouldn't high-five people at football games or hand objects to people without having to wipe it with my shirt, and anyone with hyperhidrosis knows that this kind of table is cruel and unusual punishment. The worst part by far was having to go to mass every week. Air conditioning must be against the Catholic faith because they never bothered to put any in the chapel. This caused my little predicament to be exacerbated. At the end of every mass, everyone had to hold hands while singing hymns that made Stairway to Heaven seem short. As I went into high school, I realized that enough was enough, and I started to look into all the possible fixes for hyperhidrosis. Antiperspirants just did not work and made my hands itch like I rubbed poison ivy on them every morning. I never even considered Botox injections because the results were inconsistent and even potentially dangerous. Then I stumbled upon ionophoresis. Ionophoresis is a process in which a slight electrical current is run through tap water and onto the skin that is affected by hyperhidrosis. I wanted to see if this process would actually work for me before I invested in a machine, so I made my own homemade ionophoresis machine with a lantern battery, some cables, metal pie tins, and sponges. I used this machine for about 15 minutes a day for 2 weeks, and I couldn't believe it, but this thing actually worked. While this homemade machine was pretty subpar compared to an actual ionophoresis machine, I shocked myself a few times while using it. It got the job done. My hands were as dry as a bone. And after this initial phase, I only had to do the procedure once every 2 to 3 weeks to maintain it. I swear by ionophoresis, and my quality of life in high school was vastly improved because of it. And now that I'm going into college, I can focus on meeting new people without second-guessing a handshake. If you have hyperhidrosis and you've had enough, ionophoresis is the way to go.